Hey everybody, Traci Cornelius. This week is week 31 of the pregnancy. It's coming to you a little bit later than our usual schedule, and not because of the festive season, actually because I've been really poorly. So I got a virus, which has meant that I've had a really bad cough. But the most difficult part has actually been breathing, to the point that the doctor put me on steroids to help alleviate that, and obviously that wouldn't really affect the baby that much either. Although Mark is convinced that we're now going to have the Incredible Hulk. So excuse me. So week 31. Not a huge amount of change for this week, obviously, because of being ill, that type of thing. Things that have progressed is probably the itchiness of the skin. Not really surprising because excuse me, the baby is putting on much more weight at this point in time. Probably the most important thing that I've done this week is actually order the items that I will be taking from next week onwards on a daily basis. So those type of things are raspberry leaf tea capsules. You can actually have the raspberry leaf tea. I just can't drink that many cups in a day. So you usually start that around about week 32. And if it's the tea, then it's just like 1 cup a day, and then you kind of build up. And I will go into that a little bit more later on, but it's just meant to help strengthen the muscles and everything so that your contractions can be stronger. So and I'll explain a little bit more about that in next week's video. Also, pulsatilla, I hope that I've pronounced that correctly. It's a homeopathic remedy. It helps. Believe it or not, this is better. That helps with alleviating things like varicose veins, obviously within legs, as well as like rectum and that type of thing. And arnica I won't be taking from week 32, but it's just easier for me to have that, and I will be taking that before the actual impending labour. And again, I will explain all about the reasons as to why in next week's video. Week 36, we will also go through a number of the different myths and that type of thing as to labour and what helps and all of that type of thing. It's just a bit too early to kind of go into that. Other points for this week then really have been a lot more organisation as far as the baby is concerned. A lot of the products that we needed have been coming this week. So I am going to do a whole series on newborn baby preparation countdown, because I don't really want to clog up too much of the pregnancy videos with a lot of preparation, because they're almost separate things. I know that from a lot of the comments that you sent me either via Facebook or email, that type of thing, and some actually on YouTube as well, that you're much more interested in the symptoms and actually what is going on within your body at this stage. So the baby is moving a lot more and for much longer periods of time. So beforehand we would have patterns of movement, but they wouldn't last very long, you know, because babies get tired very, very quickly, and so their sleep cycle tends to be a lot longer and their wake cycle is very short. Whereas at the moment, her wake cycle is a lot longer. And there still seems to be a very succinct pattern to that. I have particular parts of the day, timing-wise, every single day where she moves, which is quite nice. It is getting a bit more difficult to breathe in general. Obviously she's getting bigger, so that's putting more pressure on lungs and everything else. Also bending it down is also more of an issue, so having to do that again slightly differently. So all the type of things that you would expect. There isn't anything massively major that's different for this particular week, apart from, like I said, of being ill. And to be honest, that's also part and parcel of the package of pregnancy. All of your nutrients, your energy, everything else goes to the baby first. So if there's anything that's floating around, you can pretty much bet that you are going to get it. The difficulty is there's very limited amount of things that you can take while pregnant. So for the first 3 days when I got this, I've just been breathing in steam to try and help with the breathing and that type of thing. And as that wasn't working, that's why I went to the doctor. Hence the steroids, which are actually helping. They don't hurt the baby in any way. In fact, if they believe that your baby's going to be premature, then they will prescribe you steroids to try and help the progression of lung development, that type of thing. Except my dosage is so low that it's really not going to have any effect. Excuse me. The girls are getting much more excited because they're getting a lot more involved in the process of working out what's needed for a baby. Actually put the cot up. I think I've already mentioned that as well, just to get them used to it being in a room and it not being so much of a shock as to when she arrives. So really that's kind of it. Oh, actually no, there is a little bit more of a difference. Again, this would be with the kind of bust area that started hurting again a lot more and seems to have taken on a growth spurt. So I will do the video with regards to the bra sizing, and I'll actually show you the difference between my normal bra size and even as far as I've got now, which is quite shocking to say the least. So the other thing I was going to show you was the bump. So this is how she is looking at the moment. I don't really know if it's much bigger than last week. I know it is, as in terms of heaviness, but it's quite hard to tell. I think that it's a bit more out here. Actually, I think I probably am a lot bigger. Sometimes it's hard to tell on a week-to-week basis. It's probably going to be easier for you guys to tell than it is for me. So yes, I am actually having to prop her up a lot more when I'm sleeping. Sorry. So I'm having to pop the pregnancy pillow underneath, and then that takes the pressure off of my back, which is quite good. Luckily the cramp has settled down. I haven't had that, touch wood, for quite a few days now, which is a very welcomed respite. I really don't think there have been very many symptoms really for this week at all. So again, I will update the blog with any kind of bits of information, and I'll put some links in with regards to the products that I've ordered, like I've mentioned, with a bit of information, because we're going to go into that a lot more next week. But apart from that, this will be week 31, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, take care. Bye.